Hello and welcome to our channel. We're going to tell you a story. I was never the kind of woman who asked for diamonds or dresses. My name is Elena, and all I ever wanted was a peaceful life with my little family. My husband David and I married young. We didn't have much, but we had each other, and that was everything. David worked as a mechanic in a small garage in town, while I stayed home to take care of our son, Leo. We lived in a tiny two-bedroom house. The walls old but filled with warmth. The floor creaked, the windows whistled when the wind blew, and yet it was our haven. Every night, David would come home covered in oil and grease, but he'd greet me with a kiss and scoop Leo into his arms with a tired smile. We would sit down to a humble dinner, rice, lentils, maybe a bit of chicken on good days, and talk about the little things. Leo's drawings, David's funny customers, or the birds nesting outside our kitchen window. We were not rich, but we were happy. One day, everything changed. It started when David's friend introduced him to a businessman from the city. They offered him a chance to invest in a new car parts venture. We were hesitant. It was risky, and we didn't have much in savings. But David believed in it, and I believed in him. "I'm doing this for you and Leo," he told me, holding my hand tightly. I smiled. "Then I trust you." Months passed. The business grew faster than we expected. Orders flooded in, and David was offered a partnership. Money began pouring into our lives like a river that had burst its dam. At first, it felt like a blessing. We fixed the roof, bought new clothes, enrolled Leo in a better school. I even got a new oven to bake cakes like I used to when we first married. For a moment, it was wonderful. But slowly, David began to change. He started coming home late. At first, it was work. Then it was networking. Then it was silence. He bought expensive suits and changed his car twice in 3 months. I noticed he started checking his phone more than looking at Leo. One evening, I asked him gently, "Are you okay? You seem so distant." He looked up from his phone, annoyed. "I'm busy, Elena. You don't understand what it takes to run a company." "I know you're busy," I whispered, "but we miss you." "Leo misses you." He didn't reply. He just stood up and went to sleep alone in the other room. The next few weeks were harder. He started disappearing for weekends. I heard him arguing with someone on the phone. Then one day, I found a woman's perfume in the car, something I never wore. I didn't know what to say. My heart shattered. But I stayed quiet for Leo. I cooked his favorite meals, kept the house warm, and waited every night for David to come home. Sometimes he did. Most times, he didn't. One afternoon, he came home with cold eyes and told me, "Elena, I think we need space." I froze. "What do you mean, space?" "I'm not happy anymore," he said bluntly. "I've changed. I've grown. And you're still stuck in the past." I couldn't believe the words coming from the man I once called my soulmate. Tears filled my eyes. "So the money changed you? You don't want your family anymore?" He didn't answer. The next morning, he packed a bag and left. Leo asked, "Where is Daddy going?" I couldn't lie. I knelt beside him, pulled him into my arms, and said, "Daddy needs time to think, sweetheart. But I'm here. I'll always be here." I cried into his little shoulder while he held onto me tightly, too young to understand what was happening, but old enough to feel the pain. Days turned into weeks. Weeks blurred into months. David didn't return. At first, he would call to speak to Leo once a week, then once a month. Then the calls stopped. I tried reaching out, but he was always busy. I stopped trying after I saw a photo of him on social media. He was on a yacht, smiling beside a woman with expensive jewelry and a perfect smile. That woman wasn't me. I felt like I had been erased from his life. I stayed in our little house, refusing to leave even though David offered to move me into an apartment in the city. "It'll be better for you," he said coldly through his lawyer. "More modern, more space." But I didn't want space. I wanted love. I wanted the man who used to bring me flowers from the roadside and dance with me in the kitchen when Leo was asleep. Instead, I had silence. Leo kept asking, "When is Daddy coming home?" I'd smile, then gently change the topic. I didn't want him to hate his father. I didn't want bitterness to grow in his heart. One rainy evening, I sat on the floor of Leo's room, holding an old photo of the three of us. The edges were worn, the colors fading, but the smiles were real. "I wish I could go back," I whispered, "to the time when we had nothing but love." That night, I wrote David a letter. I didn't send it. I just needed to let it out. "You used to love our simple life. You used to hold me like I was the only thing that mattered. Now you hold the world, but you've let go of your soul. I didn't lose a husband, I lost my best friend." Months passed. I took a job at a local bakery to support Leo. It wasn't easy, but it gave me peace. I began to laugh again, softly at first, then louder with time. Leo made friends. We painted our little house and planted sunflowers in the yard. One afternoon, while I was baking, the bell rang. I wiped my hands on my apron and opened the door. It was David. He looked different, older, tired. His eyes weren't cold this time, they were full of something I hadn't seen in a long while. "Hi," he said, just one word. His voice trembled. I stepped outside, arms crossed. "What do you want?" I made a mistake," he admitted. "I lost myself. I chased everything and still feel empty. I miss Leo. I miss you." I didn't cry. I had no more tears left. I begged you to stay. I waited. Leo waited. You chose your world. And now you're here because it fell apart. He lowered his head. "I don't expect you to forgive me," he said quietly, "but can I see him? Just once?" I nodded slowly. "He's at school. You can come back later." He looked up. "And you? Is there a chance?" I interrupted. "David, you left when we needed you most. I don't hate you, but I've learned to live without you." He nodded, understanding the weight behind my words. When Leo returned from school, he ran to David with wide eyes and hugged him. My heart ached watching them, but I knew it was something my son needed. Later that night, as Leo slept, I sat alone by the window. David had gone, maybe forever this time, but I wasn't broken anymore. The woman I used to be, the silent, scared Elena, was gone too. I had become stronger. I had learned that love doesn't come from money, grand houses, or fast cars. It comes from presence, from sacrifice, from choosing each other every single day. Final message. Sometimes, the ones we love forget the value of a simple life. But those who survive heartbreak with grace become richer than any millionaire. I hope you enjoyed this story. Have you ever experienced? Share your stories with us in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories and adventures. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you